It will shock you and also interest you to know that among the Maasai people in Kenya and Tanzania, spitting is another form of greeting. But imagine you see you and go, and you return.
It's a greeting.
Saying hello is greeting enough. But in a lot of African cultures, you've not even started.
Africans genuinely care, and we can see that from our greetings.
It's like a proper conversation, not just hello, hi, everybody's going their way.
You have to ask, how was your night? Did you sleep well?
How's your farmland? Are you getting the yields? Is the land kind to you?
It's the whole communal thing, and it's even seen disrespectful if somebody passes somebody without saying hi, hello, greetings, because formally that's the African way.
It's also about the posture. Posture too shows respect or the lack of it.
They're also bizarre, weird
Very weird.
Africa.
that are scattered everywhere.
In some cultures, saying hello is greeting enough. But in a lot of African cultures, you've not even started. You have to ask, how was your night? Did you sleep well? How is the morning? How is the cold? How is the heat? How is your family? How is your back? How is your farmland? And it's even considered rude though if you don't ask all those questions. Have you guys experienced that kind of greeting, and what do you really think about it?
I think it's just the African way. We genuinely care. We want to know how your well-being is. We want to know what your state of mind is. Is everything okay at home? Some of them go as far as, how was the journey yesterday?
Yes.
Was the road kind to you? Things like that. So basically, in an average African setting, it's all about the well-being, of the person you are greeting and generally the community. That's why they say it takes a village to raise someone. And I think in Africa, we literally take that context seriously, because you just saying hi is an insult to that person. And in Africa, we value seniority, that hierarchy and all of that. An elder seeing another person and just saying hello, is an insult. So you have to ask and, inquire some certain things. Like you mentioned, how's your farmland? Are you getting the yields? Is the land kind to you? Are the gods, have they been kind to you? If not, we need to do something about that. But if it's all great, praises to the gods, praises to the community and all of that. So it shows that Africans genuinely care, and we can see that from our greetings.
That's true, because if you check most of the traditions or the cultures to how we greet people, it's not merely just for to say hi or hello. We ask about your well-being. Some that even have to do with pastoral societies, nomad society. They even ask about the livestock. How did your family sleep? And some traditions even just to acknowledge the presence of someone. You can't walk into a room in certain cultures and not acknowledge everybody's presence there. You have to greet everyone. Hello.
Individually.
Yes, individually. Some people, or some have a call, there's a whole general greeting. You can greet everybody, but you must acknowledge the presence. I have even seen a greeting in South Africa where it's the translation means I see you. It's acknowledging the presence of somebody. So we just go beyond just saying hi and hello. We acknowledge the presence of people because of that respect. It's a whole communal thing, and it's even seen disrespectful if somebody passes somebody and just without saying hi, hello, greetings, because formally that's the African way.
Interestingly, this is funny because in my mom's village, you don't even have to see the person physically. They have short fence, or these ones that they do with kakos. So as the person is passing every morning, there's one that's come and greets my late grandmother. So when she's passing in the morning, she doesn't enter the compound, but that's her greeting. So she'll come and talk, and that whole greeting, she can spend 30 minutes there.
Yes.
She'll come and ask everything that happened. So it's a proper conversation, not just hello, hi, everybody's going their way. Yeah.
And just to add to that, in Swahili, there is a greeting, the way they greet, they say habari gani, and it literally means what news. So you're inviting the person to give you updates, what's been going on with you, and then you inform the person, supply the person, okay, this is what's happening to me, or my business, my farm, my health, and all of that. So yes, for us in Africa, greetings are conversations. So now let's talk about how it's also about the posture. You know, for us, greeting is not just
Word of mouth.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the posture too shows respect or the lack of it.
Yep.
Yes, like the Yoruba people do, they prostrate by laying down on the ground when you want to greet someone. So yes, I think how you do it actually matters to even what you say. Because some people in some various cultures, they might kneel down, bend down. So we actually prostrate. I think it's a sign of respect because
Yes.
we greet people based on certain factors, whether it's by age, whether status. So how you address a king in Africa or a chief is different from how I address you. How I will address my peers
Yes.
is different from how I address somebody higher than me in
Actually.
age. So Africa is really about respect. We are big on respect, and so it really comes down to our language and also how we show it.
The posture again also serves as if it's like you submitting yourself to your elder or somebody who's older than you.
Yes.
Like in the Nupe tribe, when they want to greet, they squat. They go down and they say Kubelaji, and
So both men and women.
both men and women, they squat. They go down and they, after they're done exchanging pleasantries, they say also all what they have to say. Then they stand up and go on their jolly way. The first time I noticed that was when I schooled in Minna, Niger State.
Okay.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, growing up from, Kaduna, I know only women did things like that. But it was shocking and surprising to see men squatting. Sometimes they might not even necessarily say something. They just go down as a sign of, okay, I'm submitting to you and I'm also reverencing you by doing that. And the elders, sometimes they just give a gentle nod, or sometimes they also squat as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just word of mouth, whereby you just say some things you need to say in your local dialect. You need to physically give some certain posture to show that I am submitting. I am showing you with my body posture that I respect, I see you, I acknowledge you, and I also submit to your authority, so to speak.
Really twines back to the reason why even people greet. Like if we even try to trace it back, like why do human beings in general want to have a conversation with somebody and you have to greet them? Because if you look at it back then, they really were looking for a way to say, for instance, now we are living in small communities. The world was not as evolved as now. And strangers were, now if you're a stranger that usually pass by this community now, a means of greeting people is like to just show a symbol of I come in peace. You understand? You
I like
greeting
that.
somebody now is like an invitation, a formal invitation that I'm peaceful, I'm not a threat.
Yes.
I'm not a threat. So like that has evolved over time to various ways we show it, then even down to the factors of how we prostrate or how we kneel down. But it was clearly for the fact that I want to say that I come in peace.
Yeah.
I'm peaceful. I'm not a threat to you.
Because
And-
if you're coming for war, there's no greeting.
Yeah, there's no greeting
Just
because
frown your face
yes,
and
and
fall.
like as you said now, like people now that will pass through those communities that now, like foreigners will be looking they'll be looked at threats. But if you greet and engage,
Yes.
people now be like, okay, yeah, this guy can be peaceful. So
It somehow lowers their guards down when you say
And
that.
even if you can't speak the language, if you
Yes.
bow or you crouch,
Yes.
you just know, okay, this
Okay.
person means no harm.
exactly. So and that has evolved over time to various ways, various different languages, dialects, and how we do it. And now you see Africa has different spectrums for it,
Yes.
depending on where the people are from.
It was so interesting that Mr. G mentioned the Nupe people because I grew like with the baggy people literally. And there's something that they used to do that is so funny. So when they greet you, I think they greet Agife, then the other person is like Afia, Sanu, like they give up.
They could go on and on for almost 5
I'm
minutes.
telling you. What, are they trying to say something?
I think they may be just acknowledging whatever it is you're saying.
It's like a response.
Response. Like,
like,
oh,
I hear you.
hope everything is good. Yes. What about your children? They are great. Hope they are fine. I think it's maybe in the affirmative to say, okay, hope they are okay. Yes. How is your farmland? Great. How is this,
Okay.
that? And it goes on and on and on. Sometimes it feels like they don't even say anything.
Yes,
they
they
just
don't
and they continue. After a while, it fades away and they walk away. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is unique.
Actually.
So does that denote the fact that the African culture gives more respect to like appreciating people or acknowledging people more than the Western? Because I've seen like nowadays it takes more of us like from the Western, like as we pick more things, we're more of saying hi and hellos instead of actually following our customary actions. Now people now don't actually prostrate as they do more often. Yes, or even give more adage to elders when they want to greet them. Everybody's just being more subtle about it or being more high. So has that taken over us? Or do we say that our practices were more strenuous? As you said, it takes so much time to do that.
Not really. I think it's just, just respect generally. Respect is a big deal in Africa. From sometimes when you just look at, family members, just being the firstborn child it is expected of your siblings to give you that respect.
Yes.
Because it's seen as, okay, you are the first seed, and therefore you are wiser, you have wisdom. So for your younger ones should give you that respect. And you made something about the Western way of greeting as being very casual. This takes me back to when one of our relatives who grew up in America came to visit. So we're all in the living room, young boy, he walked in and he said, hi, and walked away. So one of our relatives said, come here, don't you know how to greet? He paused and he was perplexed. He said, but I said hi. And everybody looked at us and like, oh, yeah, well, actually, you said, so actually used to,
enough.
Exactly, we're used to that put in effort.
Yeah,
we are your elders.
Yeah.
You're supposed to reverence us. You're supposed to acknowledge us. With the reference, you talked about the South African greeting where I see you. And the response will be like, okay,
I am here.
I am here.
To that is actually,
the response is I am here. So the African way is acknowledge my presence, see me, and acknowledge that I've seen you. That simple hi was almost like an insult. So when somebody said, but he said hi, for a brief second, we all went, oh, well, he actually said hi.
But even if he's English, he wants to greet him. Can't he say, good afternoon, sir? Good afternoon, ma?
You know that's a bit formal.
It's still,
That's the African culture, actually, because that's a bit formal.
You know what was actually very funny is that I'm actually a big fan of Bridgerton, right? So when the way they greet their royals in Bridgerton, they just go, Your Majesty.
Yes.
But like in Hausa land, they actually greet their royals. Like it's a serious blessing. They'll go, Ranka Shidede, da 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 da. They are praying for the person seriously.
Yeah.
So I think even with that, so and even in Ghana, the Akan people, like the way even in Nigeria, we just go hi, hello, good afternoon. Like if you mistakenly greet good morning in afternoon, it means you're rude.
So somebody cannot make mistakes.
Cannot make mistakes.
You are not allowed to
They
do
see you're careless or you're rude or something.
So now if I switch my word, just good afternoon, good morning,
It means
I
you
have
are
become
rude.
the bad person.
It means
there.
you are rude. I'm
God.
telling you.
Another kind of greeting that's also fascinating is the types where you see some certain hand gestures. I think it's common with the Hausas. When you shake, you touch your chest.
Yes.
You shake, you touch your chest. You shake, you touch your
men.
heart. The men, they do that. Like,
Yes.
how you doing? Madalla, Yagida, all of that.
And they're bowing as they're
bowing down
doing
as they're doing that. It's as if they're taking your greeting to heart.
I like
I'm
that.
accepting your greeting and I respect your greeting, and it means a whole lot to me.
Yes.
And that's the way they do, because ever since the introduction of Islam, it took away the opportunity, not really opportunity per se, but it took away that avenue for you to prostrate because it's against, the practice. So that now changed. It turned into, okay, I respect you, I see you, I reverence you, I accept your greeting. But moving away from that, they're also bizarre. Weird greetings
Very weird.
Africa.
that are scattered everywhere. Now, talking of such, there's a certain tribe in Africa, in Zimbabwe and Mozambique. They are called the Indua. Now, it is a greeting you do to your friends and your peers when they travel and they return from a long journey. When you see them, after exchanging pleasantries, you now gently bump your tummy together. I wonder where they're...
Like maybe they are bumping their tummy like, I've eaten a lot of goodies from strange land.
Maybe that's to show like
feeling
the sign of their health now. Showing that
Stomach is bouncy.
they're bouncy means like, yes,
Like, I
I'm
ate
taking
well,
care of, I'm eating well, I'm
during
eating
my
healthy.
journey. Yes.
But that's very strange.
Or maybe is it the sound? I don't know.
I don't think it's the sound. I mean, it's just like she rightfully said. There's a possibility, maybe, let's gauge our tummy. I'm coming from a strange land. I've
Yes,
tried
so-
something else. Let's see if it has gone down. Because there are tribes in Africa whereby the size of your glutes, your tummy, determines
Yes.
how healthy and how well fed.
There's
you
even
are.
a fattest man contest
Exactly.
in Uganda.
Yes, like
Yes.
the bigger the belly, the more women even want to marry you. So you can imagine that kind of thing. So if it's me, I also want my belly
Yes,
to be bigger at that point. Yeah.
So is it
Six packs
possible?
to the mud.
Is it possible they go, oh, you've actually lost weight. You need
Yeah,
to welcome back.
you need to
Let's
welcome
eat.
Maybe yes. Greeting of you've added weight. Africans greet like that.
Yeah,
You've lost
maybe
weight, so
the
you've
rubbing of
added
the belly,
weight.
They're trying to find out who is more heftier. So
Yeah.
that's really
Crazy.
various gestures and various.
Yeah.
I think you also spoke about one where they clap in their greeting.
Oh yes, I think
Zimbabwe.
Malawi, Zimbabwe, part of Zambia.
So, yeah.
Okay, so they have a clapping. Let's do.
it.
So I think one person will clap
Okay,
first.
let me clap.
Okay, clap first. Then we'll now shake.
Oh, that's
then
a
both
greeting.
of us will now.
Yeah.
We finished.
Oh,
They have to clap.
wow.
Yeah.
So what's the significance of the clap?
Clap.
I
am I alive? I'm healthy.
Or just to acknowledge the other person, I guess.
Maybe.
Because most African tribes, it comes down to that. Just acknowledging somebody's presence.
Maybe it serves also as an accompany to the handshake. Just like how, handshakes are, I mean no evil to you. My hands are clean, kind of thing.
Yeah,
We're clapping,
actually.
living in peace, sort of.
Actually,
And
even in Ethiopia, especially among the guys, like when they greet, they will hug and tap the shoulder several times.
Okay.
That actually symbolizes closeness and just sincerity,
brotherhood.
Yeah, brotherhood like that.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
It really, and like we were saying earlier on when he said like it's like a whole conversation when we greet. I don't know why, but it always seems the same way. Like for instance, even where I used to greet back there. So if I was wanting to greet somebody else, I can't just say "Ade, Akiki." That sounds informal. I have to start telling you how are you, how is the family, how is your children. It sounds really informal if you're just
Even
going
in
to
my
tell
village, that's how they greet.
You can't just tell somebody that hello, I know.
Yes.
You sound this way. You go and tell your mother, well, lie here on.
Yes, I swear.
They go
So
and
you
tell-
cannot.
It's
Like even
very
among the girls, they have to bend down.
Yes,
But
you have to
yeah,
bend-
guys,
you have-
swallow.
and it's even like you grew up with me, so even like if I want to greet somebody now, all of a sudden if it's my mother, I always bow my head, and naturally I've gotten used to it over time because we don't do that now.
I feel me.
It's the whole
Especially for you
discussion.
guys that are tall, Seb,
Yes.
like
Yeah, I feel
And
the
it's-
opposite.
You feel the opposite way about what?
The other day, my mom and I went to go and greet this family that just lost someone. So my mom was bending down. I mean, I was tired that day. She was bending. She wants to go everywhere. She was bending and going here and there. So me, I was just at the back, the Gen Z child. I was
You see, they will say it.
and I knew they had something to say.
They will have something to say because that to them will look disrespectful. Yes, because according to African customary rights, you should follow the tradition or the way.
actually.
So are we saying that we prefer the modern day ways?
I mean, I do.
I wouldn't say I prefer,
Yeah,
but
I
I catch myself in the middle. Like even today when Mr. G came, after he shook my hand, I felt some type of way because I had been sitting down. Yeah, so sometimes when I do some things that are not very African, I feel it's like, maybe I should have been standing. Like,
Yes.
is it disrespectful?
Maybe you'd have bowed it.
Yeah, so I try to do when I remember, but if I don't remember and I've done it already, I'm like, shouldn't have.
And I realized like over time it's starting to wash away because the more younger generations that they are not taught about like the customary ways we greet, you start to notice like younger children now in Africa, if they want to greet you, they just hi, hello,
Hello.
very casual.
Yeah.
Am I not the only one noticing it? They just go very casual. Hi, hello, how are you doing? Oh, it's not more really that deep into it. So are we saying that because it's starting to look like we're actually living our culture, our norms, and our values, starting to actually look like that, and we're starting to actually push our agendas into the very casual greetings of hi, hello, and is it actually a good thing, or are we seeing it as just normal? Because the moment something gets normalized, it gets done more often and often
And
till
to
we
think
forget the
about
right
it.
way we do it.
But I think it's maybe because the world is a global village. That is why we're beginning to see influences from different parts of the world slowly erode some of these things.
Yeah.
But funny enough, some Western worlds, when they see the way we shake, they're really amazed by it, especially the way we shake locally here. When you snap and you snap your fingers.
Yes.
Like, I think it's in Liberia where if they shake this, they do a certain hand movement and they
I think
snap their
Ghana
fingers.
too.
They synchronize and snap their fingers. And I think it's a unique thing, but maybe because it is part of us that most Africans, like maybe they get tired of it, wary of it. Maybe the influence of the global influences from the Western world has actually changed and diluted the way it is. Not because we don't like it, but we just feel maybe something should be easier compared to, what we do. Like she talking about
Like going
out, she was tired and it was required of her to bow and she didn't want to do that, not because out of disrespect, but she was really tired. I think the world is slowly tending towards simplicity. I don't want to do all of that. Okay, how is the family? I know they are great. Just good morning, good night, and goodbye. But it's our way. It's the African way.
To me, I feel like that's the same thing we are fighting because we are trying to preserve our traditions and cultures, but we are trying not to practice them. So is that not evading from the point entirely? Because if the mere forms of greetings and cultures or forms of acknowledgement or gestures that we do on an everyday, because like that is what even just brings, that's just the foundation to like our culture. Because if you want to introduce somebody a language, the first thing they ask is how do you
greet in your language?
You understand?
Yes.
So like that's the first gesture you're actually meant to know. Because the first thing now, anybody, they'll teach you as a child. Even if I can't speak my language, I can greet in my language. You understand? I can greet in my my father's language, even if I can't speak them fluently. So those are the foundation to the gestures of our culture. I truly believe that if we leave those gestures apart, right? We're actually breaking down the foundation to actually us deviating from our culture. Because if a child tomorrow cannot greet somebody in the respectful way that it's meant to be in his own cultural tradition, he's deviating from his traditional norms now. And we're actually picking up more characteristics of the Western side that we are trying to evade. So we are fighting against something, but we are turning into them slowly and slowly.
Actually.
So this is my point that's going to Amma.
It's also interesting you mentioned that no matter how it is in the modern African society or the modern African family, it is paramount that you must know how to greet in your dialect.
Yes.
Either your mother's tongue or your father tongue. So I think later on we should greet in our mother tongue.
Yes, we'll do that.
We'll catch some people.
We'll catch some people that cannot.
Start practicing. Yeah, so do we have other types of weird, bizarre greetings across Africa?
I don't know if this is weird, but maybe to me sometimes. In Egypt, right, when they greet, you have to kiss the person's cheeks twice. Yeah, so if I'm greeting with more like the way the British greet.
I don't think it's weird. It's just maybe because of the influence.
Allow me now. Buga will not allow me.
Allow you what?
Please, you have discretion. Why?
You want to greet him like that?
You have discretion. Why would you do that?
Allow her now.
No. Now, what's terrible about a greeting kiss? Let me call it that.
But you just saw his behavior. He just said he will not allow me.
Now,
What's bad about a kiss?
he's only pretending on camera.
No, see, my point is just at the end of the day, right, is what you're used to. Just the traditional norms that you're used to. Some people's culture, like as you're saying in the house, they don't even shake women. You understand? Yeah, so they can just greet from a distance. So it's actually maybe due to the societal norms you're used to, and as we grow up with it, that's what you're used to, and how you greet people, how you address people. Those that are used to prostrating will prostrate when they see their elder. Those that are used to bending their knees will actually bend down. Those that are used to bowing their heads will bow their heads. So I truly believe it's something that we should keep doing in Africa, because it's the smallest things that actually defines the culture. It's not about the entirety, just these little things that defines our culture.
Yeah.
But if they ask you now, we're getting to that language, we need to catch some people. I truly believe there'll be a cut here. Go ahead.
You talked about maintaining some of our African culture, but I want to ask this question. How do you feel about spit?
Yeah. Spit where? Sorry.
No, spit generally.
In greeting or what?
No, just spit generally.
Spit.
I'm heading somewhere with that.
Spit is
It's part of the body, so I don't understand.
when it's inside you, when it's your own spit.
Now, how do you feel when you're walking down on the street and you see somebody spitting on the road?
Disgusting.
I don't
It is
know.
termed like a full.
Uncultured person.
Yes, uncultured. But it will shock you and also interest you to know that among the Maasai people in Kenya and Tanzania, spitting is another form of greeting.
Whoa.
I see you and I don't know how they do it, but imagine you see you and go, and it's a greeting.
Is it an everyday greeting or
Now, I
on
would not
special
know.
occasion?
It's just a way of greeting. It's just a way of greeting.
No.
I see Bonga. Oh, Bonga, it's been a long time.
No.
And it is believed to be a sign of blessing and wishing them good luck.
Really,
Wow.
that really takes us back to why people, the pre-notion of Africa, because that is actually very not common, actually, to do that. Because I don't understand, what does it mean? Because there should be a meaning behind it.
I read somewhere that, like saliva is part of your life force, your essence as a person. So when you share it with another person, you're blessing them, sharing your essence, your life
So
force.
why are you spitting on somebody to share it?
But why people
It's that
being
belief.
so, like the same people that are being disgusted kiss and exchange saliva. So why can't you greet somebody?
Wait now,
with
wait,
your
calm
body
down.
fluid?
Wait, let's be clear. You're kissing someone you love. You're not kissing a stranger.
But
you don't greet people that you hate now.
Exactly.
Please, I don't
think that spitting thing will be for strangers. It will be for people you know. How will you just
Your dad,
come up to a stranger and spit on them?
You see?
If I
No. Those are very different. I believe that those
Actually,
cultures will have
disgusting.
meanings to that. Even if I do not totally agree with it, I cannot agree to every African culture, but for sure.
Back to what you said, it's something that you are used to. The people that are used to it, they are not seeing it as disgusting.
exactly.
In fact, if you don't do it, there is a problem.
Well, I thank God I'm Nigerian. I don't have to do that.
I know the very funny thing about that spitting culture and with the Maasai people in Kenya and Tanzania, they just don't do that only to, adults. They do that for infants as well. When there's a newborn baby, I'm not sure if they muster a whole lot, or maybe just a slight one, and you go
Like
and just say, "Hey, you're actually blessing the child."
What bless? Can't you touch the
Literal
child?
spitting image when they say you're the spitting
Oh
image of
my
your
God! Well done, clock it. So you have to spit to get the spitting image.
image of your father.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Because I did not see the point. Because if you are trying to bless the child or you're trying to pass it, why don't you just touch the child?
Oh,
It's their belief. It's what they
their
believe.
belief. Yeah.
It's the belief. And it actually goes down to even back to like even religious beliefs in various places. Because Africa has various religion traditions. So I believe it's maybe a custom or a norm to actually see somebody and spit on them. But in my own understanding, I believe that goes behind all my norms. I cannot do that, Sha.
Like you mentioned when you said saliva is like a precious resource of a human. Now, I hear that in some areas where the desert regions, where water is scarce, it is a pleasure for you to spit in your hand and to shake them, because a scarce commodity is what you're using.
You're even cooling their hand. That's a cool handshake right there.
The jokes are flying today.
No, in
What's
the
the cool
desert.
handshake?
Imagine you're in the desert, you're dusty, you're
there's
hot,
sun, you're tired.
you're
said you're-
sweltering in the heat, and someone puts your precious commodity,
What commodity?
Moisture.
their moisture, and shakes you. What are you saying?
I don't really see
If
how
you were
those
there, it
cultures-
would be normal.
Yes, you'll be like, "Who? That was so cooling."
Thank God I'm in Nigeria. I would not be doing that.
You know, it's also important that she mentioned kissing as a form of greeting, especially with the Egyptians. And I believe people from the Arab descent.
Yeah.
But do you know that in a certain tribe, sniffing somebody is another way of greeting the person? Imagine
that's
that.
another out the barrier.
You know,
I cannot lie.
maybe you're sniffing their pheromones. They say, like, you can tell if you're compatible with a person from the way they smell, like opposite sex. You know, like even in the animal kingdom. Yes, now, when people are mating or trying to mate,
Wow.
you sniff them, you smell
But
them.
hey, that's
the
another question I
pheromones.
need to ask, because, like as we say now, we greet on various levels for various factors and to various people. Now, this sniffing, is it for everybody? Are you sniffing everybody you're greeting?
I think it's a cultural thing, because it is believed that when you lean forward to sniff that person's scent is intimate, it's personal to them. You sharing that with that person is a way
Bonga,
of
stop
showing
pretending.
respect.
That's a lot. Wait, let's
Are you
be
shy on the
So
podcast?
when you see a babe you like now, you will not sniff her.
Why would I? Am I a dog? Why am I sniffing her? Why am I sniffing her?
It's
Sniff her, she smells
please.
if her scent matches your scent,
Why am I sniffing her?
You know why he's arguing
pheromones.
is because he feels like you have to sniff.
no,
you
you can't like that.
No,
maybe just a gentle
bring your
whiff.
face gently.
Yeah,
like,
just a
like you
gentle
want to
whiff.
kiss, but not really kissing. Then you
maybe the way I was
sniff.
thinking about it.
But it's another. We've always talked about how Africans are being inspired by nature, things happening in the animal kingdom. Now it's possible. That's how dogs greet. When they see each
God,
other,
please.
they sniff.
Yes,
they sniff their
yes.
behinds.
Yes.
They sniff their behinds. So
their behinds.
maybe in the African context, it's possible they looked at it as, if the animal kingdom can do this, we should also adopt this.
Yeah.
Talking about the pheromones and the scents and all of that. Maybe they do that and I say, okay. Maybe you're giving out a certain pheromone, which means, okay, I come in peace, or maybe I'm healthy,
I'm fertile.
I'm fertile and all of that. It's possible. So these are just traditions that we might not necessarily understand, but it's cultural to these people. And we must respect them.
At the end of the day, yes, we might not. We don't understand all of them, right? But we don't have to
respect
agree.
them.
We
Yes.
can
Even the
respect.
spitting.
Even the what?
Spitting.
Okay.
Yeah. We respect that.
guess-
I grew up in a part of Nigeria where to see people spit, it's not a scarce commodity. I don't know, maybe it's the weather, Hamatan, and all of that. She's laughing because I know she's familiar with it. Imagine you walking down the street and you see somebody go. It happens a lot from the region. I don't want to mention the region. It happens a lot. And most people culturally don't see it as anything. But imagine somebody coming from the south. Sometimes I've had my relatives who have come to spend holiday and we're walking maybe in the market and it's like, what is going on? This is disgusting. But possibly because of that region, the weather is always dry, your throat is dry, naturally your body will release some kind of mucus for you to lubricate, and you had to spit that out. And it's not
I'm with
it is
both
not a
of
faux
this
pas.
one.
It is not a faux pas in that region. But Here comes my cousin who comes from a different place. He sees that, he's disgusted. So likewise, the people spitting on each other as a form of greeting and sniffing as well.
Well, all we can say is that Africa is diverse.
Yeah.
So we have diverse cultures. So at least you're learning a few things to tell you that Africa has various ways. So you don't have the whole ideology that we have just one form of greetings. So don't just take that alone, please.
We have more. Talking about more. There's this. So the way Igbo people greet, they say "ndewo," and it's literally, I mean you well. You know, like you're calling blessings forth onto the person. But it can mean so many things like well done, welcome, hello. Yes. And then it reminded me of one time I was with some Ghanaians and they said, oh, the way they quickly identify a Nigerian is if you say well done. So they notice that Nigerians use well done as a greeting. And if you notice, it's because we're translating directly from our indigenous language. Even in Hausa, Sanu can mean hello and it can also mean well done, like Sanu da Aike. So it's really not our fault, it's from our mother tongues.
Actually, I guess it's just direct translation from what we're used to. And the Ghanaians, they also say yes please or sorry please. They say that a lot. Sorry please. I'm like, hello, what's that all about?
We're keeping the culture alive at the end of the day. We have to say we are trying our best to keep our cultures alive and our traditions. So please, if I say well done, I'm a Nigerian, I'll take it to heart.
It just means I wish you well and I mean you well.
I mean you well.
It's like I'm acknowledging you now. See, in fact, yes, well done, all of you on the show today.
Talking about alive, Bunga was telling me how greetings in Nigeria don't just involve people that are living. They also greet the dead.
They also greet the dead.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if you actually see, if you go to like a beer bar where people are drinking, you notice they pour it, and they
especially the Igbo people.
Yes, so you see that they are not just interacting anymore with just the living anymore. So it's actually that we go beyond. So we respect everybody, both in the realm here and the realm under. So it really shows that Africa respect is always going ahead of us.
Even your ancestor that is dead.
Your ancestors ahead of here, yes. You see, they'll pour it for the ancestors. So it really shows that Africa respect in greetings actually goes in every factors of our life. But that is something we should not really take away.
It's interesting you mentioned that. In my own village, there's a practice when an elder requests for water. Let's say, for example, the daughter or a lady brings that water to that father. She goes, she walks up to him, she kneels down, hands him the cup. He drinks the cup while she's down on her knees waiting until he finishes drinking that water, hands the cup back to her before she stands up and goes back her jolly way. Culture is just interesting.
Yeah. I think I saw something similar in Uganda, like the way they greet their in-laws. The woman who kneel down, she's going to kneel down till maybe your father-in-law tells you to stand up. Like kneel down flat, not like you're bending or anything.
Like special occasion or
every time. Yeah, you kneel down till the man says stand up.
Wow,
no, but even in parts of Nigeria,
yes, you have
like
very
that.
common.
Yes, like you see women will have to kneel down and you're greeting someone older than you, and then they will be the ones to my daughter.
And you always hear something like, she's such a good child.
Yes.
It's like because you acknowledge them, you show them that respect. Like for instance, it really goes down to, because greetings is a big form of our culture. If you want, for instance, a man, you're trying to introduce a lady to your parents, and imagine that old lady just comes in and she knows how you greet in your language, and she goes down, maybe she prostrates, or she kneels down. Forget it now.
She can do no wrong. She can do no wrong from there.
Don't allow to go. She don't play with me. So yes, you actually said that because it's form of respect, But the moment somebody comes and doesn't actually accept the societal norms or the culture, they already know this is not from us, so it's not our own. No.
Yeah, because sometimes like you said, you sometimes you have to school your spouse, the person you tend to get married to. I did something similar when I was I wanted my now wife to meet my mother. I had to school her on what to do. And immediately she walked into the house, she did that. And my mother was like, she was like, okay. Oh, where are you from, my daughter? She was like, oh, okay. Your mommy trained you well. And my mother was like, we played a trick on you.
Yes, now, that's why you see like Africans want to be marrying or doing it around Africa, it's just because of that societal value.
Yeah,
that
because you're
culture
having
exchange.
to teach another
it's a
person how it's done in
But
your
now
culture.
you see that just for the fact that you're African, you're already accepting that there are so many societal norms or culture in somebody's culture that they have to respect if they are coming to that culture. And the other person to also be accepted that, okay, yeah, definitely, because if my culture has these societal norms and values, yours will definitely have. So I have to dilute it. But then bringing somebody that's out of the equation is always hard for the parents because they are saying, this one now, she cannot even bend and she's telling me hi. Me that can give birth to her, she's telling me hi. I've seen that somewhere and I was so flabbergasted.
Clash of culture. I think there was a video circulating on social media. I don't know if that's what you were going to mention. So a Yoruba bride with an Igbo groom. So with his friends, they came and usually you're supposed to dobale, beg for your bride when you're doing a traditional Yoruba wedding. And the friends did not prostrate. And so there was a big conversation about it on X. And people were like, if you know you can't respect a culture, why should you marry into it? Then other people were like, but it is against my own culture for me to prostrate. Because in Igbo culture, another man should not bow like that to another man. Do you get like there's even a saying about Igbos know no kings. So like another man, you're a man, like there's dignity as a man. There is a level of respect, like you can bow but not lie down flat for another man.
You shouldn't present yourself in a subservient
where
way.
does your own culture end and my own culture begin?
See, as long as
But some people say because you are marrying into that, you should adopt.
You should have considered that before.
You know, it's just for the moment there. You're just doing these things more like a traditional rite.
Because some people even do multiple traditional weddings. I've seen is like they can do, for instance, like you say, if there's Igbo and Yoruba, they can do both Igbo and Yoruba traditional weddings, two separate traditional weddings. So if it comes down to the Yoruba, at least just acknowledge them.
And you see that greeting, and that greeting is highly significant in the Yoruba wedding. You have to go down.
So that was why it was a big deal. Like on social media, people were like, if you know you're not going to do it, then why did you bother coming to this culture to get a bride? And it's even the significance, like saying, I'm begging for your hand in marriage. That's the culture.
It's requested, and as elders that we are, and as guardians and as parents of this young lady, we see you, we acknowledge you, we thereby. And I think after they do that, they now tell you to sit on their lap
of the in-laws.
Yes,
welcome
they say we've accepted you, and you are welcome to our culture and into our way of life.
How about you had something to say?
Oh no, when you said that you could just say hi and then the person is all good. So there's this girl on the internet, she and her mom, I don't know, maybe like Gorina. So the other day she was greeting, so her mom's name is like Brenda, and she was like, hi Brenda. So under the comment section, people were like, oh, she's so disrespectful, train your child well.
Exactly now.
So my mom is Jennifer. I just imagined doing that.
Just imagine me going, they slap her will receive from a distance. Hi who? With her first name. I think it even took me a while, to be honest with you now, to know my mom's first name. Because I was calling her more formally. So maybe like I was like in my early, maybe like 10.
Don't you hear other people calling her?
Who
even if you hear you, hold on, Linda. Even if you hear, do you have future plans of calling him?
No, he said he didn't know his mom's
by first name like
for a
while. Like maybe child.
Because I believe I believe everybody around her in a typical African setting. Mommy, mama, mom.
My mother's one, I knew her name because people were calling her name.
Okay, now in typical African aspect, they call you like mommy this from your firstborn. Like my aunt now, her firstborn name
or mommy or mama or my.
But some people were calling her.
Let me tell you now, like my aunt now, but I can tell you, it took me almost like 12 years for me to have, because they always call her mommy Arbot. Her first son, that's her first son's name. So it's still one day I figured it out. I was like, but I don't actually know this woman's name.
That's how
that's how I always refer her to. So you see that respect, they greeting. Imagine you go and tell somebody hi.
On a lighter note, back in the day in Kaduna when they used to do trade fairs, they would a radio station would come around and they'll get young people to give shout outs to their fathers and to their mothers. And it's usually in Hausa, sometimes they interpret in Yoruba, in English rather. You hear the presenter say, so what's your name? Maybe the young child will say, Sunana, meaning my name is Abdullahi. Okay, Abdullahi, who do you want to greet us in Yoruba? They'll be like, the Baba. Meaning, I want to greet daddy. What about your mom? I want to greet mama. What's daddy's name? Baba. What's mommy's name?
And to be honest now, but it's not like some of them, like now, it's not like we don't even know the name. It's just that respect. I cannot even see the first name.
Actually.
I cannot. So you see, that only goes back to the greeting. Imagine now somebody, you bring someone and you're telling your mother hi.
Hi.
Hello, hi Brenda, hi Kinney. It's be a whole debate, it's be a whole conversation. So actually, as you even said earlier on, the exchange of culture, we have to actually respect people's cultures, especially when it comes down to greeting, because like I was saying from the beginning of the podcast, that is the basis of the cultural value. It's just the base. That's how you even build. So if you don't even do that to respect their own culture, they might not even value you. Yes, because they don't see that you're acknowledging them, as you're saying now. After they greet, for instance, if you had prostrated, then they will put you on the lap to sit down.
You're
so
welcome.
that means you have acknowledged them.
Yes.
But
They
if you don't even do
respected
that,
them. They welcomed
they
you.
don't see like you actually acknowledge the basis of their culture. And culture is a big thing in Africa.
big thing.
It's a big deal.
It's a lifeline of Africa.
Yeah, actually.
And that's what has been keeping us going over and over and over. And I think we should keep to it.
Yeah. So just to conclude, whether we think some greetings are bizarre, weird, or funny, or whatever.
It's a culture.
You're having too much fun.
No, I'm trying to bless you.
Don't bless
you.
me, sir. Please, sir. After this.
So yes.
So, I am from Bauchi State originally. I'm from Bauchi State, and my dad is, we are Siawa by tribe, and if we want to greet in the morning, we say Cambodia. That's like say good morning. Whereas my mom's tribe, my mom is Angas from Plateau State, and if you want to greet, you tell them Iala. That's like
What's the response to that?
Iala, you say Nyanyeda.
Nyanyeda.
Kajena Yanye, Bucheka. So that's like the whole conversation. Like I said, it's a whole conversation.
We would like to hear, trust me.
We can go on.
From me, I'm from Edo State, Akoko Edo local government. We speak Afemai. When you want to greet an elder, you have to, give that gesture of you prostrating and you give a gesture of bowing. We say Agbe. The response is Elugbe. Then from there, Mijemi. Then from there, it continues, and you continue saying that until everybody goes their separate ways.
It sounds very northern to my ears.
Well, I don't know. It's Agbe. Agbe
And you
means
said
good
you have to
morning.
keep saying Agbe.
No, Agbe, Elugbe.
Like back
So-
in the day.
No, you just say Agbe, Elugbe, Mijemi, and there's several other things you need to say. Then from there,
Another
it will.
ritual. Let's continue.
I'm from Kaduna State. My mom is actually Kagure by tribe, and how they greet in her tribe is the person I'll ask Bunga, Yashuko means how are you, Bunga? The Bunga will not tell me he's fine. Then I will not, I have some backup questions, but let's go to Miss Linda.
That's the
So
end.
do you kneel or do you just stand
Oh
and
my
say?
God, you bend, you
Okay.
squats.
Okay.
Yes, squats, yeah.
I'm from Adama and I'm Yendan. And in my language, we say, Ya Yerebi. That's like when you want to say a good morning, how did you sleep? And then the person will say, Eko jam or Eko nani. And then you ask further questions like, oh, Ya Sumabi, which is like, how is the cold? The person will answer, Jam. You say, Ya Yebe, which is, how is the family? Ya Lebi, how are your children? You keep going on and on. How is the farm? How is this one? Till you guys are tired, then you be like,
Then you walk away.
yeah.
Wow.
And then you crouch too.
Oh, okay.
So in conclusion, Africans respect each other, and we're all about community. We're all about acknowledging the humanity of each other. And that's why in the Nguni language, in Xhosa or Zulu, they say Muntu, Ngumuntu, Ngabantu, which is a person is a person through other people. So it's kind of like you don't own yourself. And to identify who you are, what your identity is, you need your neighbor, you need your community. So even when they greet and say, I see you, and the person says, I am here, you see that it's an acknowledgement of community. We all need each other. And so, yes, let's keep our African culture alive. Let's keep the greetings alive. Let's not let modernization erode that spirit of respect that we have as Africans.